Good afternoon, Em. Here's your machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870 in silver. So as you saw in the photos, it's in good condition. It does have some scratches around the front, some small dents around here as well. But generally, I would say it's a 6, maybe 7 out of 10. It's in decent shape, I would say. Everything looks fine. I've just finished cleaning and doing the service, so that includes checking for leaks, pressure test, cleaning. Realigning the grinder. I actually just finished realigning the grinder, so it's grinding like new, I would say. Yeah, so in this video I'm going to be doing a coffee, so a double shot espresso, and maybe making it into a long black actually. So when you first turn on the machine, it will take about a minute to reach temperature. You'll see the buttons light up. That's when it's ready to go. You can keep the machine on for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes before it turns off automatically. In that time, it would heat up and you will feel the grip handle hot as well. And you can also put your cups here for them to stay warm. If you just turned on the machine and you're in a hurry, you want to heat up the machine as quickly as possible, you can still do that. And I like to do a blank shot. So that means just running some hot water through the system and into the cup, just to warm things up. And I think it's a good step as well because it also cleans. You can press it once or twice. I'm going to do the double. There we go. It's about half the cup. That's decent. You can do that. You can do that again if you'd like to. But it's piping hot at the moment, so you can try that using the single. It's nice to keep things, especially the cup, nice and hot, and the handle as well. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna put this on the side to stay warm. And now it's time to grind the coffee. So I'm gonna drain the portafilter of any water, and I'm gonna dry it using a tissue. So it's important to grind into an empty, a dry basket for optimal results. So this is a double basket. Your machine comes with all 4. That's the accessories included. So all 4 baskets, obviously the handle, the tamper, and I believe the milk jug, which I think is over here. A large stainless steel milk jug. So this will be probably enough for 1 to 2 cups of coffee. Yeah, so the portafilter here has the double basket. This basket takes 18 grams. This is pretty much the standard basket you want to be using day to day. Even when making one drink, we use the double basket, and we use the double button for that. So this takes 18 grams. I'm going to try to aim for 18 grams into the basket. If you have a scale, that would be a great addition to your setup. You can fine-tune your coffee this way. If you don't, that's okay. We can still manage. You can change the grind size the filter size single to double. I like to keep it on single personally, and I like to do it in 2 steps as opposed to putting it on double and letting it go in one go. I'm going to keep this at around 12 o'clock. This is the amount of coffee it'll give us. And on the left here is the grind size. So after realigning the grinder, I've set it to grind size number 4 now, which should be more than fine enough, or at least in the ballpark actually. So the only way to know if we have the correct grind size is to make a coffee and look at how quick it comes out. But roughly, just from feeling the texture, I know that it's in the right ballpark. So we'll keep it at number 4 on the dial over here. We'll keep this at 12 o'clock, and we'll keep this on single. So we'll press this. Okay, that's how much we got. I'm going to press it down, then measure. We got 10 grams. So I'm going to dial it back a touch. Let's say 11 o'clock this time. We'll try it again. Yep, that's 9 grams. So yeah, after you first grind, press it down with the tamper, then grind again. Oops, that's a bit. One click. Okay, that's the second time around. Let's see how much we got. Just gonna bunch it up into the center and measure. We got about 9.5. So let's say if you keep it here on the least amount, that should give you about 9 grams per click. So perfect. If you're getting 18 grams to this basket, you're doing things right. So I'm just gonna trim off a little bit. There we go, that's 18 grams. You don't have to do this painstaking process every single time. Only when maybe when you first get the machine and every time you change the beans, I guess. But you don't have to do this if you're using the same beans on a day-to-day basis. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try to bunch up the beans and then more or less flatten them with my palm. It doesn't have to be perfect. I need to flatten it before pressing it down so that we are pressing on an even surface. I'm going to grab the tamper, press it nice and firm. Apply even pressure and make sure you have a flat surface, a smooth flat surface, which is what I have over here. If you don't have a scale and you still want to get the right amount of coffee, what I recommend doing is grind the coffee, flatten this until the top edge, until it's flush with the top edge of this basket. So that's untamped before you tamp it. Make sure that it's all the way to the top. So maybe scrape it with your finger or a piece of paper or a card or whatever, just until it's flat, and then press it down nice and firm. A lot of the time you will notice that it will go down as deep as the silver part. So if you grind enough coffee, what I did here, I ground enough coffee such that after I press it down, the depth of the tamper is how much it'll go. Sorry, the depth of the silver line is how much the tamper will go. So as you see here, I've put 18 grams of coffee, I've pressed it down nice and firm, and the tamper only goes as deep as the silver cap. If it's too high, so if I can't press any more than this position, then that's too much coffee. And again, if it's too deep, that's too little coffee. So hopefully it's not too complicated. That's the amount that this basket takes. Clean the edges and lock it in. So you want to lock it in beyond the center position. So just a little bit to the right, maybe I would say 5 o'clock. It's right there, nice and tight. It'll hold position here. If you don't lock it beyond 6 o'clock position, it might slowly pop off, which is never a good idea. Which is never a good thing. Yeah, alright, so that's my coffee ground and tamped and prepped. So now we're ready to actually brew the coffee. I will use the scale once more to measure the output. So we put in 18 grams, so that's 18 grams in. In terms of the output, we want to double that, so we want 36 grams out. So 18 in, 36 grams out in terms of liquid coffee. So I've set up my scale here and we'll start making the coffee. You want to pay attention to 2 things when you make the coffee. The pressure, you want it to be around 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. That's the range I usually aim for. And 2, the speed and the way the coffee comes out. You want it to be nice and smooth. You don't want it to be coming out in black drops very slow. And you also don't want it to come very quickly, almost like a black river. You want it to be sort of in the middle. If it comes out too slow, that means your grind size is too fine. So I would increase the grind size. If it comes out too quick, that means the grind size is too coarse. So I would decrease or make it finer on the dial here. Maybe by 1 number at a time and then test again. Cool. The buttons here are programmable, so you can always reset the programming by holding the program button. It will reset to factory settings. You can program them to the length that you'd like. So I'm going to press program, then I'm going to press the button. I'm going to program it to about 36 grams of output. So we'll see what that looks like. Perfect, it's at 1 o'clock. The flow is very, very smooth. We have some good colors going on there. Some very good crema. It's nice and symmetric. Nice and controlled, I would say. And I'm going to time it as well, just for a good measure. So, approaching 20-25 seconds. And I'll turn it off right there. So I think that's about the right amount. So as you saw, we got this much coffee in about 20 to 30 seconds. That's the range you want to be aiming for. Look, it doesn't have to be perfect every time. It just has to taste right. So this is 40 grams, slightly more than I was aiming for. That's okay. 40 grams of coffee still looks really good. You can add milk to this to make it a latte or a cappuccino. You can add hot water to make it Americano, a long black. You want to take out the portafilter and knock it off straight away. Don't let it sit in there, it'll make things dirty. And you want to also flush. So press the button again just to rinse it with hot water. This will also rinse your group shower screen. Great. Maybe once a week or every few days you can use a tissue to wipe this clean. Make sure that no oils or coffee grounds stay up there. And that's all to make a double shot espresso. Now, every time you press the button, you'll be getting about 40 grams of coffee, which is good, I would say. Here you have the hot water tap. If you turn the dial to the front, or the back, sorry, if you turn the dial away from you, it'll give you hot water straight from the boiler. Yeah, so that's piping hot water straight from the boiler if you want to bypass the group head. And if you turn it towards you, so to the front, it'll give you steam. So I'm not going to be steaming any milk, I'm just going to show you the steam wand working. You want to learn the technique, it's not too difficult. You just have to keep the wand at an angle to the jug. So let me show you. At an angle. Give this, by the way, give this a few seconds until it starts steaming. That's full pressure, and when you turn it off, give the machine a few seconds, it'll cool down and it'll go back to espresso mode. When you see the buttons light up, that means the machine is ready to make another coffee. So now you can grind again and make another espresso. Just a couple important tips about the steaming on this machine. When you're done with steaming your milk, you want to grab a wet towel and wipe it off straight away. You want to remove the milk as soon as you can, and after you do that, you want to purge. So you want to purge the wand by just turning it on really quickly, and that will purge any milk that's stuck inside here. So you want to clear up from any milk, because if you keep the milk there, it might harden and block the actual hole. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And yeah, regarding the technique, you want to learn how to do it properly, for example, for either cappuccino or latte. So you want to fill your jug about halfway, put the wand at an angle, and keep the tip close to the surface of the milk, so that it sort of injects the air as it spins the milk in the jug in there. And that will give you like a silky smooth texture. Anyway, that's the coffee that we made. Smells amazing. I'm sure you'll be able to make incredible coffees as well soon, and I hope you enjoy the machine. If you ever have any questions or concerns or issues, feel free to message me, and yeah, enjoy.